Yeah, we're rolling 2B. Yep, 2B. Oh, be or not to be, Nick? I like to. Are we going to pop it or not? I got to say hi to you. Of course.
You were like really high on my list today.
What is that?
You're gonna do it.
7 o'clock tomorrow is the open ceremony. Yeah. I'll be here. Yeah, I gotta go to a close town coffee. How are you? Sir? How are you? You too?
No.
I'm 5 or 6.
Let me say hello to this guy first.
Hey!
Sir, how are you? Thank you. Sir, how are you? Well, you gotta give a head of home.
Doug, you have your seat?
Hey, what do you got, Trish?
Sorry, this is that deal. Yeah, I'm
Dan Birmingham.
Nice guy, that costs money. And Cat. William. Yeah. No, it's a point. She is. And I got the message. I'll just say she's there. Definitely, I'm going to mention just one cascade here. What do you know?
Congratulations, I missed it.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 3rd, 2018 Budget and Finance Committee meeting of the Putnam County Legislature. Please stand as the Putnam County Sheriff's Department Color Guard presents the flags.
Detail. Gary Cullen.
I'd like to call on the Director of the Putnam County Veteran Services Agency, Carl Rohde, to lead us in the pledge.
I get in trouble for this every once in a while, but remember, when you're saying a pledge, under God, there's no pause. It's under God, it's not under God. So let's say the pledge right tonight, okay? Please join in faith the flag of our nation, and please join in the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And your heart salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. I'd like to introduce the Putnam County District Attorney, Robert Tendy, to sing the national anthem.
Please all join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order. Pause. Detail. Dismiss.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the legislative prayer. I'd like to call on Legislator Nasarino for our legislative prayer.
We need to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations, and on our efforts here today, may we act wisely and well.
Thank you. I'd like now to call on the Commissioner of Finance of Putnam County, William Carlin, to do our special introductions. Roll call, I'm sorry. We have roll call of the legislature.
District 1, Legislator Scuccinara.
Present.
District 2, Legislator Goulman.
Present.
District 3, Legislator Agnizio. District 4, Legislator Nasarino.
Present.
District 5, Legislator Albano.
Present.
District 6, Legislator Yonke. District 8, Legislator Sage.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Sullivan. District 7, Chairman Castellano.
Present. Now I would like to call on the Putnam County Commissioner of Finance, William Carlin, to do our special introductions.
Everybody, please be seated. Thank you. It's my honor tonight to introduce the dignitaries. I'm going to start with State Senator Terrence Murphy. Hello. Assemblyman Kevin Byrne. Sheriff Robert Langley, Under Sheriff Mike Corrigan, and all the captains are here from the Sheriff's Department. Welcome. District Attorney Robert Tendy. Representing Susurino, Brett Valencia. The Honorable Judge Jim Reitz is here. County Clerk Mike Bartolotti. Supervisor from the Town of Kent, Maureen Fleming is here. Putnam Valley Councilwoman Jackie Anabi is here. Southeast Councilwoman Lynn Eckert, I believe, is here. Highway Superintendent Mike Bruin from the Town of Southeast. And Mike Simone from the Town of Carmel. And from the Town of Kent and former Putnam County Legislative Chairman Richard Offner. From the GOP, we have Chairman Tony Scannapieco. Kevin McConville from Kent. Phillipstown, and Pat Madigan from Kent. From the Conservative Party, we have Joseph and Dawn D'Imperio from Patterson. John O'Connor from Southeast. And from the Democratic Party, we have Chairman Jim Borkowski, and we also have Captain Clark from Southeast there also. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to start tonight's last introduction with one word: boring. Many of you know that is a word that aptly describes me. But the last time I heard that word was at the August Audit and Administration Committee meeting of the Putnam County Legislature. It was said to me as a compliment by a partner in the accounting firm of O'Connor Davies, the independent accounting firm that audits the county's financial statements. He was referring to the county's fiscal operations. He said we're boring because the county, year after year after year, adheres to conservative fiscal budgeting and spending practices that result in a strong financial position. I accepted the compliment, but make no mistake, boring is not to be confused with easy. The annual fiscal achievements of Putnam County, despite the challenges we face from mandates, are the result of a county legislature that makes sound fiscal policies and the county rank and file employees, department heads, and elected officials who implement those policies. It is now my privilege to introduce the leader of our Putnam County team, responsible for our fiscal successes, who is giving her 7th annual budget address tonight, County Executive Mary Ellen Odell.
Thank you to the members of the legislative team. We are a team. And we welcome to the first county budget our sheriff, Bob Langley. Bob, thank you. I'm going to do a little something different. 7 years, lucky 7. I'm going to do a little housekeeping ahead of time because when you wrap things up, you kind of forget those people that are with you from the beginning. You forget them at the end. So I want to give a big shout out to Tom Lannon, the head of our IT department. And the members of our administration who've been with me in the last month when we put the presentation together. Not to be confused with the budget. See, the budget we do every day. The budget is an everyday adventure. We start tomorrow on the 2020 budget. Jen Bumgarner, our county attorney, thank you for your shared services leadership for the shared services panel and your insight. Paul Eldridge, former county executive. Where's Paul? Thank you. He always puts the good color spin on. He wordsmiths. He makes Tom Lannon crazy. Joe DiMarzo, my dear friend Joe DiMarzo, who sits with Tom Lannon and I from the beginning, helps me frame a message. Joe, thank you very much. And of course, the man who I had the honor of introducing, Bill Carlin. We all know how hard Bill Carlin works. His commitment to this county is without doubt one of the most sincere commitments that I've ever seen in leadership roles, whether you're in the private sector or in the government sector. Bill Carlin is a true gem, and the people of Putnam County are very lucky to have him at the helm. Thank you, Bill Carlin. Particularly in a year when I spent a year without a deputy. A year that's been very interesting, a wonderful, wonderful experience, and all of my department heads who stepped up at the call of duty. Wonderful, each and every one of you. I cannot thank you enough. And of course, to my inside team, to Tricia Simone, my chief of staff, and Terry, have a happy day. Oliver, our confidential secretary, and Nick Paterno, our director. You put a lot on them too. So, let's go. Let's roll. So we thank our elected officials who work with us, our department heads, and the employees that we were able to deliver a fair budget this year. Again, 7 years, as Bill noted, that meets the needs of our citizens while continuing our vision of fiscal conservancy. Through hard work and dedication, not only does this budget meet the needs of citizens in Putnam County, but we deliver and we adopt this budget before Election Day. That we are the only municipality in Putnam County that delivers and adopts before Election Day. So challenge that and tell me that we're not open and transparent. Thank you to the legislature. This budget, again this year, will show you how we deliver the quality of life services, how we provide those mandated services that the state asks us to provide, how we maintain a fiscally responsible vision. Vision is a big word. Provide for the needs of our employees and retirees. And as I said, we deliver and we adopt before Election Day. We're honest. And we do that while not exceeding the Albany imposed tax cap. Just a little history. Since our administration started developing the Putnam County budget, you can see our first budget in 2013, the state imposed 2% cap. Next year, 1.66, 1.56. Then it was 7.3, tight year. Tighter year after that, 0.68. 18, 1.84. This year, the state says 2%. Now, we don't know what that number is going to be until the summer. So you have to plan tomorrow. Tomorrow, you have to start planning for the next year's budget because it's like a game show. Really, it's like, let's make a deal, door 1, 2, or 3. We will not and have not exceeded the New York State imposed tax cap for the 7th year in a row in this budget. Zeros, ladies and gentlemen, do not work. Everybody knows that. In our own house, we know that. Since 1980, the Putnam County tax levy has only been frozen twice, in 1997 and 2011, before my administration. County governments can't fund the rising mandated costs without increasing revenues to fund them. Or we have to eliminate essential services. Or we have to discontinue our partnerships with the towns. We've demonstrated that small property tax increases within that tax cap, combined with prudent conservative fiscal spending practices, do result in a fiscally strong Putnam County that meets its fiscal and social responsibilities. Our administration continues to strongly support the tax cap as our resources allow, and this budget, again, will meet that commitment. But remember something, we're still waiting for that mandate relief. That was supposed to come with the tax cap. 7, 8 years later, still very, very little, if none at all, mandate relief. As a matter of fact, increased mandates. A 2% increase in real property tax amounts to $1 million in revenue. And again, yet our expenses, including mandates, we've increased over $1.9 million. So here's how we'll start to break it out for you. Proposed 2019 budget equals $159.8 million. This is a net increase of $4.4 million over the 2018 adopted budget, or 2.9 spending increase, and it includes some highlights. We have a $976,000, let's say $1 million increase in employee and retiree health insurance costs. We have a $1.5 million increase in our contractual obligations. But we also have a $629,000 decrease in New York State pension expense due to the amortization payoff, which we did alongside the cooperation of our county legislature. But we did see a $350,000 increase in the preschool education program, which serves in this county 347 children. And the total budget for that program alone is $7.9 million. And I ask you to just hold that number as you see all of the allotments for the departments that we're funding. And we have $267,000 increase in debt service costs, and that's because we pay down our debts. We pay them down as much as we can, and you'll see that later on. So how does this impact the average Putnam County homeowner? The average homeowner assessed at $277,000 will see an increase of $24 in their 2019 county tax bill. We start this year with a 17.8 anticipated general fund balance. We're going to ask the legislature to consider taking 3.2 out of the general fund balance to balance our budget, leaving us with an estimated $14.6 million fund balance. And just to note, a highlight note here, we used $1.5 million less than last year in this year's budget. Putnam County's financial position is sound and will remain stable going forward, giving management's conservative budgeting. Now that's a strong statement, but that's not us saying that. That's a quote, that's a direct quote from Moody's that we received in the last few weeks. In fact, Moody's went on to say, management's history of maintaining healthy reserves is expected to continue and is evident by another projected surplus in fiscal year 2018. Here's our report card. Everybody remembers getting that report card, right? You loved seeing A's? Well, we got 2. Double A to Moody's for 2018. Thank you again to the legislature, Bill Carlin, to our department heads, to our employees. Thank you. Debt management remains a focus of our fiscal plan, and as we lined up the key pieces early on in our administration, our plan has delivered measurable results. Let's just take a look at our long-term debt. In the year ending 2011, when I took office, November 11th of 2011, Veterans Day, the long-term debt was at $88 million. Year ending 2017, $75 million, with a reduction of 15%. Our short-term debt, when I took over on the 3rd floor, we had a $17.2 million balance in short-term debt. Year ending 2017, 0. Sometimes 0 works, sometimes we like 0. 0. That's a 100% elimination of all short-term debt. Thank you again to our hardworking employees. And we're going to talk about the 2012 New York State mandate that forced us to borrow $4 million to cover the pension expense because of the stock market losses. That was 2012, first year in. 2013, guess what? They came back to the door knocking for more. 4.6 we had to borrow to cover the loss from the stock market and to cover the New York State pension system, which is responsible. We have to make sure that our employees get their pension, right? But in 2014, we decided to reverse the pain, and we made a plan. And in 2014, we made a small payment. In 2015, we started to go big, $1.5 million. 2016, we hit it hard because we realized the more we hit it, the less it was going to cost us or save us in interest. And in 2017, we paid it off, $2.9 million for a total of $8.2 million. That is our commitment to fiscal management, and that saved the taxpayers of Putnam County $773,000 in interest. So in our 2019 budget, we're going to talk about operating expenses, and what better place to start than our sheriff's road patrol and our sheriff. And again, we welcome our new sheriff, Bob Langley, and this is his first budget. And he agrees, we all agree, there is no mission more important than keeping Putnam County safe, and the safety of our children remains a priority. We deploy 9 school resource officers, which are specially trained sheriff deputies, and 13 special patrol officers to our schools. 5 of our 6 school districts enjoy a partnership with Putnam County, and this administration remains committed to our partnership with our school districts and, of course, our sheriff's department to keep our children safe. Sharing our resources is, in fact, a trademark of the sheriff's office. The Putnam County Emergency Response Team, also known as the ERT, is a specialized team comprised of members of the Sheriff's Department, the Kent Police Department, and the Carmel Police Department. And canines have always been an integral part of police work. The Sheriff's Office received a grant to purchase an electronics detective dog, and I got to stop here because at the budget meeting with the Sheriff's Office, I had to stop them and ask them exactly what this is. So any of you guys who have a cell phone or a power drive device or a chip, that dog walks in that room, he's going to come looking, and he's going to come finding your chip. So now we can watch the whole room clear out. He's going to find your credit card. He's going to find all kinds of electronic devices. It's incredible, the story. But in today's world, it really fits in how we're going to tackle the crimes that are committed against children. The pedophiles, the sexual abuse, the sex trafficking. This canine will be used in so many ways. It will be used with probation to assist with searches for prohibitive electronic devices, as well as executing search warrants for those that commit crimes against the children. Later on, if you join us in the reception, and if the sheriff joins us, or any of his members of the team, you have to have a conversation with him about that. Using funds that will have a zero impact to the budget, the jail will also be purchasing an additional canine that will help detect smuggled narcotics into our jail system. So we're always being proactive. The Putnam County Sheriff's Department is also an active participant in our One Army on the War of Addiction. The Sheriff's Department received a grant this year from the Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services for $156,000. They will be focusing on the treatment needs of persons in the Putnam County Correctional Facility with substance abuse disorder. Our plan includes working with the Putnam County's Department of Social Services, Mental Health, Youth Bureau, and Arms Acres. That's part of the team right there. So our seniors, so important, our seniors. The value of having our grandparents living in our community, but they're volunteering. Their volunteering hours allows us to keep our budget stable. We've allocated in this year's budget $6.8 million to the Office of Senior Resources. I'd like to give a shout out to our Director of Office of Senior Resources, Mr. Michael Cunningham, who's here tonight. Michael, thank you for your good work. Michael's here with his family. He came all the way across the pond, right, to see this tonight. Welcome to America. Office for Senior Resources, 2018 is a year on the move. Remember when we had the transportation discussion back about mobility? We were moving, we're still moving, only now we're moving our seniors and we're moving our staff. The photographs you're looking at there today is the renovation of Building 3. That's a reno. That's not a new structure, believe it or not, and our guys did that. What a great, talented crew. Again, another highlight of craftsmanship from our highway crews. This is new space for the administration so that we could expand the footprint in Building 1 so that our seniors could enjoy more programs, more recreation, and we didn't have to build a new building. You know, one of those $12 million palaces that are always talked about. So we'd like to, the renovations have already begun on our Carmel facility. only because of the generosity and the partnership and the cooperation of our Knights of Columbus, Lady of the Lakes chapter, who are now the home of our Carmel seniors while the renovation is being completed, and we expect to be completed in the spring of 2019. And we cannot thank the Knights of Columbus crew enough for being so open and warm to our seniors. They've given them the full run of the building with the exception of the bar, which made our seniors not happy. But rules are rules. And a very, very special thank you to Senator Terrence Murphy for securing the SAM grants, which are state and municipal grants. Thank you so much, Senator. Without you, this could not be possible. And the New York State Department of Transportation, former legislator and transportation manager Vinnie Tamagna, always on New York State and always making sure our seniors, along with Mike Cunningham, they're always making sure our seniors have good quality transportation and good up-to-date mobility operations. So we were awarded $900,000 this year for new buses. That's a good thing. And Barbara Scucciamaro. The Friendship Center in Phillipstown, formerly known as Butterfield, will have its ribbon cutting in just a few weeks. The project took almost over a decade, but it was worth every minute. It was worth every inch and every mile we carried that project, Barbara. And without the legislative support, your colleagues, it would not be possible. And the highways and facilities crews, a shout out to our highway team, and all of the union and labor representatives that are doing this Project Labor Agreement project, our first in Putnam County. So we're putting union families to work, we're engaging in labor, and we're getting the job done. Bravo, Barbara. Bravo to the legislature. A special thank you to the Cold Spring American Legion, who have been very generous in housing our seniors over the many years while we have been trying to get this project over the finish line. We thank them very, very much, and we will continue to support them and the American Legion Post. A special thank you again to Senator Sue Serino and Assemblywoman Sandy Gala for securing those grants that made this possible. Again, we're still in the quality of life services. $5.4 million to cover health insurance, medical costs for our retirees. The number just keeps growing exponentially. 2 years ago, we tasked Paul Eldridge as a personnel director to find an alternative, a good alternative plan. So last year's budget, we proposed a voluntary cost savings and alternative plan to the NYSHIP plan for Medicare retirees. We offered a plan that was affordable, portable, because we know how our seniors like to travel, which offered coverage for spouses, required no referrals, has no networks, and the retirees were guaranteed coverage. Pretty much a home run. The plan would be administered by Benistar, a nationwide leader in group retiree medical benefits. We currently have 13 individuals enrolled, and we understand the trepidation, we understand the hesitation. So we decided to do a follow-up. The plan in itself has not only saved the county taxpayers money, but here's where the hook was. It saves the retirees money as well in their premium payment. Benistar promised us, and they've delivered, to provide great customer support with one number to call for full assistance. So how's it going? Well, we asked our retirees. Now, John Lynch was the Commissioner of Planning in Putnam County for a very long time. He's retired down south. This will be on the PowerPoint so you guys can read it in its detail entirety. But basically, he says it's been a really good plan for them. The transition from the prescription drug coverage, which is what everyone always is looking at, under the Empire Plan to the prescription drug coverage under Benistar was flawless. What's not to like? Kathy and Dennis Sant, our former county clerk. He's a tough guy, right? So you got to wonder if Dennis shoots straight. Dennis says, Benistar customer service has been outstanding and we have saved a substantial amount of money. Their agents are very knowledgeable and available to serve their clients in a courteous and professional manner. These are real testimonials. And we have a surviving spouse, Cecilia Campbell, Phil Campbell's surviving spouse, and she had concerns, and she reviewed the materials, and she says claims are processed promptly, and I really appreciate they're simple, easy to understand notification of benefits form. So let's keep this program rolling. Open enrollment is, Paul Eldridge, coming up. So for all of you Medicare retirees out there, those are accurate testimonials of colleagues that you all know well and trust. Emergency services. Emergency services. Boy, what a year we've had. What a year Acting Commissioner Ken Clare and his team have had. We've allocated in this year's budget $4.5 million in emergency services. Emergency Services, the Bureau, they provide the training for our local responders, and here's just some of the courses that they teach to the public and to our first responders. CPR, emergent EMT, firefighter, hazardous materials, incident command. If anyone's interested in these courses, there's a phone number for you, or our acting commissioner is here this evening. So why is emergency management so important? Why do we allocate what we allocate? Because you never know. The storms of 2018, and let me tell you something, last night my heart was racing. I was notified from the Bureau that tornadoes were watched in Westchester, and my heart started racing because we've been there. We've been ready, and you get that adrenaline. And I was ready again, and I'll continue to be ready. So the storms of 2018, on Friday, March 2nd, Putnam County is pummeled with 12 inches of snow and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, causing major power outages across the county and road closures. Our critical points are closed, our hospitals closed, our fire departments are closed. We have no mobility in Putnam County. So I immediately closed the non-essential employee county offices. I'd like to get our people home as soon as possible. And I called the commissioner and I asked him to please activate the county incident command structure. The incident command structure, for those of you who aren't familiar, is comprised of employees, volunteers, like Red Cross. Greg Amato, is Greg here? He's always, Greg, where is he? On the ready, Red Cross, on the ready. Those volunteers, law enforcement, first responders, and utility companies, they embed themselves in our incident command room, our operations room. You'll see a photo down below. Everyone has their own station. As incident commander and as the county executive and in coordination with the Commissioner of Emergency Services, I lead the overall operation of the countywide response, interfacing with the local municipalities, their highway departments, and the community at large. Our 911 center answered over 1,500 calls for assistance on the first day of the storm, and they dispatched all calls to EMS, fire departments, and law enforcement teams for immediate action. We declared a state of emergency that evening, and New York State did respond by embedding the Commissioner of Homeland Security, Mr. Roger Perino, in our ops center. By Wednesday, March 7th, we were just coming out of it, little bit, digging ourselves out a little bit, and another round of heavy wet snow with wind gusts hits Putnam County again. And it hits us hard, resulting in more power outages, more road closures, and we continued with the state of emergency, and the incident command structure remained activated. So now we're on our 6th day of 24/7 activation with massive power outages, and we relied on our emergency management plan that we designed after Superstorm Sandy. My first year as county executive, we were hit with Superstorm Sandy, and we implemented and activated an emergency management plan that would include the operations of comfort stations throughout Putnam County, Temple Beth Shalom, the Knights of Columbus, Phillipstown Recreation. And now the Elks in Southeast want to be added to it. We cannot thank them enough for opening and operating those in the worst of times. And I have to thank everyone in the incident command room who leave their homes, true public servants who leave their homes to come in and make sure that their community and their county is safe. I have to thank each and every one of them, and I think we all owe them all a round of applause. So we're still cleaning up from the snow. Still cleaning up from the snow. We get an alert, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the commissioner alerts me, we're on tornado watch. By 3:30, it's here. 3 of 5 tornadoes and macrobursts ripped through our county. The storm hit just before the evening rush hour, leaving many residents stranded. We all have our stories. As the area was littered with trees, and I'm not just saying trees, we're talking trees. We're talking real big trees. Large branches with power lines wrapped all around them. Almost 100% road closure. The National Weather Service later on confirmed an EF2 tornado with winds up to 110 miles per hour in the town of Kent. An EF1 tornado with wind speeds up to 100 in Patterson, and a macro burst with wind speeds of 80 to 90 miles per hour in an area 3 miles wide and 4 miles long in the town of Kent. And again, our residents were cast into darkness with widespread power outages. We knew that one was bad within 20 minutes. Again, we quickly activated the Emergency Operations Center and we declared a state of emergency. Highway crews were calling in saying they had a difficult time removing any debris from the roadways. And again, critical points. Emergency management plan, incident command structure. What do? We find out, is our hospital open? Are our fire department roads, are they open? Are the police department roads open? We go down the checklist. We make sure that those roads are identified so that we can send crews in to cut and clear. Cut and clear. Those are the words. But we need NYSEG. We need Central Hudson. Central Hudson in their chairs, no time. NYSEG, not so good. Not so good. We're paralyzed, we can't move. We have residents who are in the electricity utility field that are like cowboys out there identifying live wires. We have volunteer fire police standing on call for 14 hours watching a wire, waiting for NYSEG to come in and identify so we can cut and clear. With limited power throughout the county, including Putnam County facilities, which we closed, and most roads still impassable, we closed all county offices until Friday. Obviously, common sense. Keep our employees home, keep them off the road so that we can do the work we have to do and they are home with their families and we don't have to worry. The governor flew in to Putnam County the next day. He asked to meet me in Putnam Valley. We met with the governor in the field to review the magnitude of the storms and we asked for help. He sent help. We opened up more comfort stations and shelters. They were coordinated and open. The NYSEG CEO, Carl Taylor, showed up in our emergency operations, and we sat down and we identified and prioritized, and we started to coordinate the restoration efforts. In that time, our 911 center answered over 3,600 calls in a 16-hour period. I watched it. It was incredible. Our 911 dispatch center, what a team of people. You never know when you're sitting in that chair what's going to happen. You could sit there for 2 days and nothing. And then all of a sudden, everything, chaos. Lights and boards are lighting up. So catastrophic storms equals a catastrophic financial impact. You know, it happens like anything else. After you get through it, then you have to take a deep breath and then you say, oh my gosh, now what is this going to cost us? So the March winter storms for overtime cost the county $194,000 in overtime. The May tornadoes, $324,000. And still counting, by the way, because we still have post-storm. And I've talked to all of the highway superintendents in this county. And because they had paving projects on the books that they had to get to because we have a limited paving season, they had to put aside a lot of their clearing and removal of debris. So this post-storm cleanup will continue to go on. So we have a guesstimate of what that money will be. So this will include the removal of debris, the management of that, some generators and fuel and safety equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So the cost of those storms are still rolling. If you add it all up, those 3 storms have cost us in Putnam County $841 some odd $1,000. But a big thank you again to those who leave their homes as true public servants, as first responders. We thank our dispatchers and the many career and volunteer first responders that put Putnam County and their community first, 24/7, for 3 major storms. Thank you. And their families, I should add. For the wife, the missus who had to shovel the driveway 14 times. Oh, parks and recreation. You're standing in one of the Putnam County parks and recreation. $4.7 million we've allocated to sustain Putnam parks. So let's talk about Tilly Foster. But before we go anywhere, I'm going to do a little, I'm going to tell you that in spite of the fake news that's out there, I'm going to tell you the real story about Tilly Foster. This administration did not acquire Tilly Foster. We inherited Tilly Foster. Tilly Foster was left to my administration to do something with. It was costing us money. It was run down, the infrastructure, the utilities, nothing there. We had to make a decision. The legislature and the administration had to make a decision about this beautiful 199-acre property that was bought to preserve open space, was bought to be a place for the community to grow and love. It was supposed to be a part of our agricultural history, to speak to the integrity of who we are in Putnam County. Our vision, this administration's vision, along with the legislature and the community, decided that Putnam County Tilly Foster Farm and Educational Institute would be best served by having those gates open 7 days a week and making it an educational center. And the partnership with BOCES was one of the best decisions we ever made, and it is a flourishing, flourishing opportunity right now. Partnership with BOCES has brought education to the farm. The educational opportunities there include the construction trades, the culinary arts program, adult programs, summer camp for middle school students, open house events, the Educated Palette event, and the red carpet event. It's a beautiful facility and one we are very, very proud of, and it was a wonderful, worthwhile investment. Coming soon, with BOCES cooperation, you'll see more animal care opportunities and horticulture and hydroponics. If you haven't been there, I suggest you take just a drive up there and see the beautiful scenery and see the vista of that property. It's incredible. From steaks to fish to a Sunday brunch, Tilly's Table offers the finest in culinary delights. We have all kinds of events: comedy headliners, murder mysteries, live music every Friday and Saturday nights. People who haven't seen each other in 30, 40 years are bumping into each other. It's really beautiful. And we have showers, and we have weddings and gatherings. And Tilly's is a place to celebrate our life's events or just sit and enjoy life. That deck has an incredible view of an incredible sunset. Bringing farming education to the public is a priority of the Tilly Foster vision. Tilly Foster Farm, as I said, is open to the public from sunrise to sunset every day. And come and see our beautiful alpacas, our chickens, our beautiful goats, Juliet, our pigs, Ginger and Penelope, and of course you have to see Sinbad, because look at him, he's just, or that's Sonny, it's just saying, please come and see me. Farm to table, farm to table. This year, we harvested on 1/3 of an acre some crops, just your basic home garden plantings on a little larger scale. The crops are still producing, and we've just planted for our fall harvest. The harvest to date for 2018 has provided 10,000 pounds of fresh vegetables. 800 pounds were sold to Tilly's Table, and 9,000 pounds were given for our seniors to enjoy at our nutrition center. Our chef at the Office for Senior Resources has done more with zucchini than you could ever imagine. I look forward to the cookbook. Now just look at the yield of that. I mean, kale. Remember when kale used to be a decoration in the deli cabinet? And now everyone's eating kale. It's like first on their list of groceries. We have 139 pounds of kale. That's a leaf. That's a lot of kale. Butternut squash, zucchini, I mean, you see it all. 96 pounds of cherry tomatoes. That's on a third of an acre. But bravo to the team at Tilly Foster. So bringing Putnam together in a farm setting this year, we hosted numerous events that integrated the outdoors with the arts. Alice in Wonderland, the Johnny Cash, oh, so many concerts, the opening of the season with Shillelagh Law with the Beer Fest, just fun, and making money to keep this property sustainable. And soon, the Putnam Arts Council will be coming back to Tilly Foster. Where's Joyce? I know I saw her. There she is. So Joyce Pacone from the Putnam Arts Council, as we were designing and developing the interior of Tilly's table, we left all the walls blank for the Putnam Arts Council, and Joyce has many of her artists in there with photographs and paintings and beautiful arts displayed all throughout the facility. They're all available for purchase, which keeps our artists fed and not hungry, right? Keeps our local artists. So the Putnam Arts Council, which supports cultural tourism and which also spurs economic growth, is coming back to Tilly. And some of the programs they'll be bringing is connecting a visual arts forum, musical performance, art exhibits, art classes, photography shoots, and on-location painting. And all of this is possible, again, because of the good work of Senator Terrence Murphy, who secured a $250,000 grant through the New York State funding to help us bring Putnam Arts Council back to Tilly Foster. Thank you, Senator. Tilly Foster Farm fit the pieces of the puzzle together, and we're in the green more ways than one. So last year's budget, we booked $385 in revenue, really not knowing what to expect. In this year, 2018, in August, we had to increase that revenue line to $680,000. So in 2019, we're very confident we're going to budget and exceed, I'm sure, $771,000. And in addition to that, we're looking to go solar on Tilly next year. Here we are, Putnam County Golf Course, and again, I'm going to say this, I did not acquire the Putnam County Golf Course. I inherited. The administration inherited the Putnam County Golf Course. It was dilapidated, run down. The golf course was a cow pasture. This building was falling apart. The parking lot was a dirt parking lot with gravel and dust. No one was ever going to have a wedding or a special event here if they were going to have their guests hike in with beautiful gowns and shoes. So we made a decision with the legislature. We made an investment in a property that we had no choice. It was either keep it or return it and receive $1. That was how the agreement was made. Right of first refusal, $1. So we kept it, we invested, and here we are today. What a beautiful destination the Putnam County Golf Course is. And it continues to be the Hudson Valley destination for golf, for outings, and events. It is a solid financial investment. We are making money, but more than that, the people of Putnam County are proud of this destination. They enjoy coming here for the Friday night barbecues. They enjoy having events here. So golf is a great outdoor sport where nature can make or break your game. This year, nature taught us the value of a sunny day. Year to date, 45 golf days were lost due to rain. 16 of them were on the weekends. 6 were on a Friday. And the first round of golf for the 2018 season was not played until April 7th. Despite a less than desirable spring, or did we even have a spring, we say, and a very, very wet summer, Putnam County Golf Course remains on track to show another profitable season. Why? Because we're diversified. Because Putnam County Golf is a great investment that wasn't simply focused only on golf, but rather in providing our residents with quality recreation at an affordable cost. To date, Putnam Golf Course has hosted over 200 events, independent of golf outings. That beautiful wedding photo. Isn't that beautiful? This is a little bittersweet, but happy. In 2014, we welcomed Jim Woods as our new golf pro. Jim's insight to golfing and his professional attitude helped Putnam County Golf Course become a renowned golf destination. He designed a new pro shop for us. He trained a knowledgeable staff. He was in charge of equipment and sales repair. He gave good golf lessons. And these are just some of the many things that Jim brought to Putnam County Golf Course, but he brought his friendship. And we're very happy for Jim, as he has now been asked to take over the reins of the Omni Bedford Spa and Resort in Bedford, PA. Moving on up. We're very proud of Jim. And I'd like to say that they found him because they found us. And that just goes to show you what a great job we've done here. So best of luck to you, Jim and Lisa and Bogey. That's a dog, by the way. That was a stray on this property that he adopted. So mobility, transportation, Putnam County, we've talked about it so many times. We have to keep our seniors and we have to keep our community mobile. So we invest $3 million in the park system. These are our buses. We're getting new buses this year, completely re-wrapped now. I think our entire fleet will be wrapped. We continue to replace our fleet within the park system and the paratransit. These purchases are made without any cost, by the way, to the local taxpayer. They are using federal funds for those purchases. And to further save the taxpayers, we identified that buying smaller vehicles was much more efficient than these huge dinosaur buses, we call them. So we've replaced some of the larger paratransit buses with smaller vehicles as they age out, reducing the operating expenses for each trip. Our outside agencies, so important to the quality of life in Putnam County, so important. SPCA, they're here tonight. Thank you, Ken and Ken, for all you do. Margie Keith is here. Cornell Cooperative Joyce, I've already given a shout out. $2.9 million is what we're allocating in the 2019 budget to help our outside agencies, such as the Humane Society, Putnam County Fish and Game, the Southeast Museum, I'll be joining them next week, the Putnam History Museum, CAP, Judy's here, I know somewhere, Judy never misses, Judy. We're proud to help you in your good mission. We have to say thank you to all of you for what you do and your volunteers. 15.7 in general government support. That includes a lot of our operating personnel, various sundry items. It's all detailed more in the budget itself rather than spend the time going through it. That will all be available to you online. So $50.3 million of a $159.8 budget goes to us. That's what we get. Now comes the fun part, making New York State happy, the mandates. So here we are with a little guy in the green, and he's going to try to climb the mandate steps. Health Department, food stamps, debt services, real property, traffic control. Not to say we don't believe in all of those are good services, but they're mandated, which means we don't get to control the operations, which I think we could probably do a lot better of a job. Contingency money, coroner, SAFE Act, planning, emergency 911 pensions, another bucket of mandates. Guy's doing his best to keep up there. Early intervention pre-K, you saw that number, 7.9 for 347 children. Did you see some of the other funding numbers we put up there? To support entire departments, like our Bureau of Emergency Services, 4.5. That's a mandate. I think we could do better. It's important. We know it's important. It's an investment you make early on. But again, we would like some say in how they're run. Child Support Services, MTA Mobility Tax, Department of Motor Vehicles. Medicaid, Workforce Investment Act, personnel, child welfare, maintaining our roads and bridges. Look at this guy's looking at the hill like, seriously? Mental health, judgment and claims, EPA mandated MS4 programs. Big, big, big money there. Weights and measures. Our county clerk, health education, the civil division, our sheriff's department, traffic safety, state snow removal, again, mandates. Not that we don't believe that there are services we should have, we would just like more control of the costs in operating them. Probation, consumer affairs, social services, health and immunization, adult protective services. These are all New York State mandates, folks. This is everything that county government is in charge of operating and funding. District attorney, unemployment insurance, indigent defense, highways and facilities. And we're still going. We're still climbing. Now we have the last two. HAVA, Help America Vote Act. Passed by the United States Congress in 2002. Each year election costs have gone up. In 2006, the entire Board of Elections budget was $850,000. For 2019, the Board of Elections budget is $1.7 million. Why? Well, we have additional primaries that we're supporting. You have the new machines and the ballots and all the costs that go along with the training of the Board of Election personnel. In addition to that 1.7, we had to purchase a new building at a cost of $1.2 million to operate the Board of Elections at. And again, this is a mandated cost, which is a cost that is the sole responsibility of local governments. Local governments, not county, local. And Putnam County pays the full town cost of this program, and we don't charge back. And community college. Now, we all know that college is considered one of the most valuable investments that we can make. We've all spent a lot of money on college for our kids, if not for ourselves. And we believe in that investment, and so you're investing in your future. And the cost of community college is, again, another mandate that's supposed to be split. A third from the student, a third from the state, and a third from the town. But guess what? So what we say on the third floor, shocking. The county pays the full town cost of this program, and again, doesn't ask for any chargeback. Between the cost for HAVA and the community college, Putnam County pays out an estimate, I'd say picks up an estimate $4.8 million tab for each one of the townships in Putnam County. We're good partners. We believe we help when we can. And by the way, we do that and manage the tax cap at the same time. So sharing is a basic principle of Putnam County, and we've been doing it for years. In addition to the $4.8 million that we spend that I just highlighted for HAVA and the community college reimbursements, there's numerous intermunicipal agreements, IMAs, and shared service arrangements that are presently in place, or handshakes, between the county and various municipalities. We are always there to help. Of the numerous IMAs and shared service arrangements, Putnam County provides approximately 75% of the services. What does that mean? That means when we have an agreement with another entity, we're doing the work. Here's an example of some of them. This is just a snapshot. Again, if you go online, you want to see more of the IMAs, they're available in the shared services plan, which I'm including tonight, one, to highlight how we do share in Putnam County and stay under the tax cap, but two, to meet our benchmark for the shared services plan that was a mandate requirement by Governor Cuomo. Keeping government, county and local, efficient is a primary focus. When Governor Cuomo issued a report outlining shared services initiatives in 2018, we were long ahead of the curve, having already established dozens of IMAs, which, by the way, we get no credit for. The Commission on Fiscal Vision leadership that I started in 2009 took a look at efficiencies along with now legislator Neil Sullivan. We took that commission in 2008 to take a look at where we could find low-bearing fruit to save taxpayer dollars. So this shared services was not a new idea. We've been doing it for a long time. But the governor's approach asked us to take a look at it from a bottom up. And acting as the facilitator, as the county executive, we brought all the stakeholders together. And the county contracted with the LaBerge Group to facilitate developing a comprehensive shared services plan. And we created a shared services panel that included the leadership in the local municipalities, as such named on the board. Several meetings were held that were mandatory that included not only the shared services panel, but non-voting members, Legislator Ginny Nasarino and Neil Sullivan as co-chairs of the Committee on Fiscal Vision and Accountability, and 2 school superintendents attended, Anthony DiCarlo of the Mahopac School District and Andy Irvin of the Carmel Central School District. They were active participants as well. And remember, schools were not included in the discussion, but we reached out, we cast a wide net to get as many good ideas as we possibly could. Numerous ideas were discussed with the panel, choosing 4 short-term projects that could possibly be implemented in 2019. Again, remember, this is a bottom-up approach. It means the towns decide whether they want to engage or not. Joint purchasing, shared line striping and paving coordination, snow plow coordination, also commonly known as plow up, plow down, and the shared property tax assessment services. What you saw are just some of the mandates. There's 200 plus more. Those mandated services in our budget are $109.5 million. So in our 2019 total operating expenses, you add up to $159.8 million. That's how we get there. So with the $109.5 million in unfunded mandates and $50.3 in operational costs, how do we balance the budget? By staying on message, by focusing on our sound fiscal management practices. As I said, it doesn't happen in the budget season in 1 month. It happens tomorrow. We must carefully balance the budget to provide mandated programs which absorb the majority of our revenue while continuing to deliver the quality of life services and, of course, stay within the Albany imposed tax cap. According to data found on the New York State Comptroller website, Putnam ranked 4th lowest in expenditures per capita of all 57 New York State counties outside of New York City for the year ending December 31st, 2016, the latest data available to us. We call that the frugality index. What does that mean? It means we're cheap. Well, we're not the cheapest, but we're the 4th cheapest. Putnam County's portion of your homeowner's tax bill is only 9.1%. Paul Eldridge, that's his favorite. And this 9.1% remains the lowest county portion of any tax bill in New York State. The New York State average county tax portion is 21.52%. We're at 9.1%, and you saw all the services that we provide. And we're in the Hudson Valley. So where does our revenue come from? Well, we'll start with our expenses, as we noted, 159.8. We conservatively project our sales tax revenue every year. This year we're projecting $60.5 million in sales tax. Sales tax is our most volatile revenue. We have to watch it. That's why we book conservatively. Many factors that are out of our control can positively or negatively impact sales tax revenue. This year, because we are conservative in our bookings, we are 3% over the 2018 projection. Now here's something interesting, and it's a pause for thought. Putnam County taxable internet sales in 13 and 14 were $5.2 million. In 2017 and 18, and I just got these numbers when I was at the NISAC conference in Rochester last week. 2017-18 taxable internet sales in Putnam increased to $45.6 million. Why is that important? It's important because now you know why we've been so focused on infrastructure projects like sewer. Because there is no shopping availability to us. This was our 6th highest taxable sales category in Putnam County. Starts with gas and it goes to automobiles and then ranks lower. 6th. Also, we're the highest ranked in all the counties in New York State for internet sales. So we're consumers. So let's build some things that people will buy instead of just typing and clicking away. Here's the total taxable sales. Automobile sales lead us. Restaurants, food, which we knew. We were identified for food and beverage, which is why Tilly Foster and this Putnam County Golf Course are such a hit. And you can see the sales in millions as they go down. I'm not going to belabor the point. Again, all of this is available online. But look at the internet sales right in the middle. Property tax. That's our tax levy there, $43.4 million in property tax. Department revenue, again, our employees, our administrative staff working hard to make sure that we maintain a revenue stream in our departments. Department of Motor Vehicle, Michael Bartolotti, where's Michael? Michael works hard, and Jimmy McConnell, just as an example. So there's $130.8 million in total county revenue. Then we get a little bit of reimbursement for the feds for the programs that we run, and we get a little bit more from the state for a total of $20 million in total federal and state revenue. That's how we balanced our budget this year. Sometimes these visuals are a little helpful. Again, you look at the total operating expenses, the mandate's at $109.5 million. To our quality of life money, $50.3 million. And look at our revenue side, sales tax, we count on it. We have to develop, we have to invest in infrastructure projects to keep property tax low. Department revenue, again, many thanks to our department teams, and federal and state reimbursements. Planning, Development, Public Transportation Department projects and grants are one of the main focuses of our planning department, which is led by our Commissioner Sandra Fusco. This department is currently managing over $18.5 million in grants and other funding awards. The Envision Brewster project, traffic improvement investments, our bikeways, Office for Senior Resources, and the Stoneleigh Avenue, Drewville Road Hospital Corridor. We also remain focused on the many projects that will help to sustain our economy, to my point about the internet sales. Municipal leaders, the Economic Development Corporation, Industrial Development Agency, Putnam Chambers of Commerce, and local business owners, and the list goes on. That's the team, the business development team. Working as a team, we can encourage responsible economic development, which will help sustain our economy by creating additional jobs and contribute to our tax base. Not staying focused on infrastructure projects can have a disastrous effect to our local businesses, to our residents, to our economy. Again, sewer infrastructure projects, critical. The Envision Brewster project is a TOD, a transit-oriented development project in partnership with MTA, Metro North, the Village of Brewster, Mayor Schoening, bringing retail opportunities, residential housing, and public areas together. The Southeast to Danbury Sewer Project, providing an environmentally responsible resource for waste that will encourage commercial growth along Danbury Road. Senator, is it okay if I announce the grant? We just received an additional $750,000 towards that project. Thank you, Senator Murphy. That's in addition to the $1.2 million that Sandra obtained for us during funding opportunities last year. In fact, Putnam County, in total, in our Capital Projects Committee meeting, which meets monthly, the chair is Alexis Hawley, we deal with $53 million in projects that we've budgeted that will support our mission of making Putnam the place to live. And so here are some of the highlights of those $53 million worth of projects. As I mentioned, the Carmel Friendship Center, we have our bikeways. The Southeast folks will be happy to hear about the Morningthorpe Avenue and Sodom Road Bridge replacement. Peekskill Hollow Road is underway. That should be completed 2020. Again, bike path, Drewville Road. And I'm going to mention something about the Stoneleigh Avenue, Drewville Road corridor because I think it's important, particularly in the storms that we've had. Everyone who knows if you're going southbound on Stoneleigh Avenue past the hospital is a choke point at the Drewville Road. We have been aggressively seeking funding to be able to widen that roadway so that there are turning lanes and to make that intersection safer. Because as I mentioned earlier, that is a critical point for us in a extreme weather or just an emergency event. So we are, the Commissioner of Highways, Fred Penna, is here and his team. That's our next big focus on road projects. Putnam County remains dedicated to fighting the war on addiction. Early in my administration, we called ourselves the One Army on the War on Addiction. And we're committed on the local, state, and federal level because this is a battle we must win. The Army remains diligent. We will put up a fierce fight knowing what's at stake. Last year, 24 deaths are attributed to overdose. This year, at this mark, we're looking at 13 that we know of. The One Army on the War on Addiction Task Force. I asked Legislator Barbara Scucciamara, the chairwoman of the Health Committee, to put together a team, and boy, did she ever. We have Bruce Kelly from Community That Cares, Doreen Lockwood, also from Community That Cares, Kristen McConnell, a recipient of today's Putnam County Service Network Awards, Diane Russo of Cove Care, members of St. Christopher's Inn, members of our own team, Joe DiMarzo, Dr. Neshua, Commissioner of Health, Mike Piazza, the Commissioner of Social Services, Legislator Tony Adonisio, our Sheriff, and our District Attorney. That's a team. That's an all-star team. And thank you so much for your good work. And I understand last night the legislature took a step in a good direction, passing T21, Tobacco 21, which is important, but I am committed to the fact that vaping must be addressed and must stop in this county if we are going to have any hope of arresting or stopping the growth of addiction in this county. Our history shows our commitment. We've increased our funding for drug treatment court. Thank you, Judge Reitz, for all of your good work in drug treatment court. Anyone who's attended those graduations know how powerful they are. We have pursued big litigation against Big Pharma. We're taking this very seriously. We're digging in our heels, and any funding we do receive will not go in the general budget. It will go right back to the community-based providers. And now, to further strengthen our Army, I announced tonight that the tentative budget that we're presenting includes the first staffing increase for the District Attorney's Office in 14 years, adding one new Assistant District Attorney to make a total of 2 ADAs, which will be devoted strictly to narcotics prosecution, and the formation of a new law enforcement narcotics task force. Thank you, Bob Tendy. Thank you, Sheriff Langley. Thank you, Legislators Gucciamar and the entire legislature. And this is the rest of the team that is fighting every day. Our community-based groups, our elected officials, our not-for-profit providers. This is the team that fights every day to stop this epidemic. Paving projects. I mentioned earlier that our local municipalities and our highway crews had to stop the removal of debris from those 3 catastrophic storms to get some paving done. Route 6, Putnam Plaza. Right? Nightmare? Nightmare. Thank you, Senator Murphy, Assemblyman Byrne, for the funding, for getting that project done. Putnam County maintains 114 miles of county roads and 56 plus miles of New York State roads that we clear during snow and ice events. We also maintain intermunicipal agreements with our local municipalities to assist with local roads, and we're hoping to enhance on that with the shared services plan. And we continue to maintain our roads, and examples of the many repaving projects in Putnam County includes Peekskill Hollow Road, Crane Road, Gage Road, and West Shore Road. The Route 6 paving project, again, we'll thank Terrence Murphy and Assemblyman Byrne. Look at that road. I mean, everyone here has been on it, right? The potholes could swallow small cars. I mean, I drive a 2008 Ford Ranger 5-speed pickup, and it couldn't take one more pothole. We finally got that road done, but we're not done. We've also secured money working with Commissioner Penna, Senator Murphy, and Assemblyman Byrne to finish up the area from Route 6 at Willow Road, where the bike path entrance is, all the way through the hamlet of Carmel to Route 301. So thank you again, and to Fred Penna and to his coordination of the whole project. I mean, at the beginning of the fact that we were getting the money, we were so excited, and then the reality is of the logistics. In the middle of the summer, we're going to close major roads. And of course, there's always that negativity. Oh, we can't do it. Oh, we'll never get it done. Oh, it's going to be it's going to be awful. It's going to be a train wreck. It was so easy. It was a breeze. It was so easy. One morning, you just woke up and you got on the road, and it was done. Magic. Veterans Service Agency. Boy, do we love our veterans in Putnam County. America stands for liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and the unalienable right for life. We as Americans enjoy those freedoms because of the courage, the strength, and determination of our armed forces. Our veterans were there when we needed them, and Putnam County will be here when they need us. In 2019, our Veterans Service Agency Deputy Director Art Hanley will go from part-time to full-time to fill a hole that New York State created when they reduced our New York State Veteran Service Officer from 2 days a week to a half a day. A half a day. How many claims can you process for our veterans and their families when you have someone in a half a day? 4 hours a week? Seriously? Thanks to Director Carl Rohde and Deputy Director Art Hanley, they went ahead. We started this years ago in anticipation of this. And I asked the gentlemen if they would go get certified to be certified veteran service officers. And they are procuring hard-earned and well-deserved benefits for our veterans now, full-time. Thank you, Art, and thank you, Carl. We care about our veterans' personal lives, too. Putnam County continues to operate and fund the county-run veterans residence, and the Putnam County's own private first-class Joseph P. Dwyer program, which brings veterans together in a secure, anonymous setting to help one another cope with the effects of post-traumatic stress, addiction, suicide prevention, and traumatic brain injury. And again, this is another initiative, and a great big thanks to Senator Murphy and Assemblyman Byrne for funding this program. Okay, did you guys know that all the funds that we collect through our nationally recognized Row of Honor goes towards supporting our veterans? Well, it does. This initiative was started 6 years ago. It was an idea I had to mimic the trees along Lake Lenida that I grew up looking forward to every holiday season. The initiative was started to raise awareness of our veterans and their sacrifice, to bring a sense of patriotism to this beautiful county, but to make money. That's my job, right? So we decided that all the funds that were raised would go towards veterans initiatives. Since that time, we've been able to fund Purple Heart Monument. We've funded some other program initiatives. But this year, this Row of Honor is going towards the traveling wall, which arrived this afternoon. If you'd like to buy a flag, there's the phone number. Or you can get Carl or Art or anyone today. 450 plus flags are now flying brilliantly on the shores of Lake Lenida. And because of our patriotism, and because we're the first Gold Star Mother County, and because we are the first Purple Heart County, we were asked by New York State to host the first Medal of Honor parade. And we were honored to have 2 Medal of Honor recipients with that beautiful July 21st afternoon. And as I said, the traveling wall made its way graciously to Putnam County this afternoon. Tomorrow's opening ceremony is at 7 p.m. out at Veterans Park. It will stay with us through the weekend. So please take some time, take your family out there and pay your respects. As we say, to the Vietnam veterans who came home, not to a welcome, but to bitterness and sadness, this is the opportunity for all of us to say to our Vietnam veterans, welcome home. We appreciate your service. I have to give a shout out, Mike Simone's here, former legislator Regina Marini. What a beautiful day on Sunday, the Grand Marshals of the Italian-American Club Parade, the Columbus Day Parade. Congratulations to Regina and Mike and to the Italian-American Club celebrating their 90th anniversary and its 30th anniversary of the Columbus Day Parade. Congratulations to both fine people. This is just a little PSA for you. There's a wrong date on here, by the way. That says 2018. We are having Oktoberfest on the 20th at Tilly. We have an Eagles tribute band, and it'll be your traditional Oktoberfest. So please mark that in your calendar. That will close our outdoor events at Tilly this season. And I'm going to close tonight by saying last week I concluded my presidency as the president of the New York State Association of Counties. 62 counties, I had the honor and privilege of being the president. It was a great year. Tough year, managing that and not having a deputy county executive, but we got it done. And I have to tell you, the experience was invaluable. To be able to sit with all of my colleagues in county government and look at all of the stress points, all of the issues that we all have to deal with day after day, month after month, really supporting each other. Steve Aquario is the executive director at NYSAC. He does an incredible job advocating and lobbying for counties' needs. These are just some of the initiatives that we work together on. I handed over the presidency on Monday to the very tall gentleman, Mr. Chuck Nesbitt, who is the county manager of Orleans County. He's going to do a great job in keeping counties moving in the right direction and keeping us all informed. The beautiful woman there in the pink, the coral, is the county executive of Monroe County. She was the host for the conference at Cheryl Donalfo. Steve Aquario, as I mentioned. Rensselaer County executive is Steve McLaughlin. The county executive next to the president-elect is Dan McCoy, and I have to give a special shout out to the Albany County executive Dan McCoy for all the work he did in helping the counties get funding for indigent legal services. The Harrell Herring decision exempted Putnam County and many other counties But Dan was a leader. I hitched my wagon to him, and we fought, and fought. And today, our Legal Aid Society, any new expenses that are incurred will be picked up by the state. And so a special shout out to my good friend Dan McCoy and to all my friends that I made at the New York State Association of Counties. It was a great run. I said all my thank yous ahead of time. Putnam County is a county that I grew up in, one I'm very, very proud of. I thank you all for joining us this evening, and I extend to all of you an invitation to join us downstairs for a reception. God bless America. God bless Putnam County. Thank you
Thank you. On behalf of the legislature, I'd like to thank the county executive for the presentation of the 2019 budget. We look forward to reviewing the proposed budget in the upcoming committee meetings, which are scheduled to begin next week. You can check our website for information of the schedules coming forward. We'll be bringing this meeting to a close, the Budget and Finance Committee meeting, and we will be opening our public hearing for the tentative budget in a few minutes. So all of you, if you could please remain. And with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. We'll open up the public hearing in a couple of minutes. Thank you. A few minutes. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 3rd, 2018 Budget Committee meeting of the Putnam County. I'm opening the agenda for the public hearing of the tentative budget. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Call on Legislator Yankee to lead us in the pledge.
I'm here for another 2 years and 4 years.
We have roll call.
District 1, Legislator Scucciamaro. District 2, Legislator Goulman. District 3, Legislator Adnizio. District 4, Legislator Nasarino. District 5, Legislator Albano. District 6, Legislator Yankee. District 8, Legislator Sage. District 9, Legislator Sullivan. District 7, Chairman Castellano.
Present. I'd like to call on the clerk for the reading of the public notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Budget and Finance Committee of the Legislature of the County of Putnam will hold a public hearing on the tentative budget for the year 2019 on Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018 at 8 p.m. or immediately following the County Executive's budget presentation to the committee, whichever occurs first, at the Putnam Golf Club, Inc., 187 Hill Street, Mahopac, New York. Notice is also given that any interested persons may review a copy of the tentative budget for the year 2019 at the office of the Clerk of the Putnam County Legislature, room 321, 480 Glenina Avenue, Carmel, New York, anytime during regular business hours after October 1st, 2018, or on the Putnam County Finance Department's website by close of business day, October 2nd, 2018, by order of the Putnam County Legislature.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask anyone wishing to speak regarding the proposed 2019 tentative budget to state their name and the town which they reside and make any comments. Okay. Being that there's none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor? Thank you.